All right, folks, welcome back to the building an animatronic horror bear series. So at this point, we've pretty much got our body almost done. I know we still need the little bow tie, still got to decide on the tail. But for right now, at least, we are ready to start looking at the head of our character. And so, I think in this video, we'll start with some of the simplistic stuff, maybe the eyeballs, the ears, and the hat, maybe even the eyebrows, because I think we'll make those move or be able to move when we rig it. Then maybe in the next one, we'll do the main shape of the head, and then we'll do the bottom jaw in a video with the teeth, something like that. But to get started, let's go ahead and go to Workspace, General, and then Reset Current. Go to File, Set Project. Let's look for our Fred project folder. Then let's do a file save scene as, and we will call this number 12. All right, so I've already noticed too some little blemishes elsewhere on the character that I want to touch up later, but we will do all that once we get to the point where we are done with the model design and then we'll go from there. So, like I said, we'll start with maybe the eyes. And so in this case, for these eyes, they're pretty basic. We could take a sphere. So if I click on a sphere, then I bring it up, and I'm only going to do one side of the bear for the most part, or really focus on one side, one of the head, and then we'll mirror it over. But if I take my sphere and I scale it down, now we could keep this a very simple shape. We could put this sphere right in the middle where the white is, maybe take a cylinder around it, and it would look just like a glowing light bulb. I think I'm going to try to go more of the look that you see in kind of the film, where the characters has some eyelids, and we can move those around. So what I'll do is first, I've scaled my sphere down to size. I'm going to rotate it, and you'll notice it's rotating on X, so I'm going to set that to 90. Just so that it's kind of facing us. That way, in case when we start to texture it later using the features in Maya, if you wanted to select just a small part to put a pupil, you could. Um, then what I'm going to do is, I think we're going to keep that sphere a full shape. I'm going to slide it forward in the front view. And again, I'm using my front view as my location for where things should go vertically. It's a little off here, and that's fine, but I want to leave it where this one is. Let's see. So then what I'm going to do next, I think will be the easiest way with this eyeball. I'm going to go ahead and we're just going to make some eyelids for it. I don't think I'm going to put this ring around it, or if I do, maybe I'll design that when I model the head. But what I want to do then for the eyelids is I'm going to go ahead and I've got my sphere the way I want. I'm going to hit Control D to duplicate it. Then I'm going to scale that up a hair just to make it a little bigger so that the eyeball fits inside of it. All right, now I'm going to move that off real quick and do a little cleanup here real fast. I'm going to select the sphere and I'm going to call it L underscore eyeball. Then this one right here, which was our hand, this cube, I'm going to call it L underscore hand. And then this sphere, L underscore top eyelid. Then I'm going to hit Control D again, drag that one. I'm gonna call this L underscore bottom eyelid. All right, so now for the top eyelid, I'm gonna go to face mode and drag this a box around the bottom faces. I'm gonna hit delete. I'm gonna go to object mode and I'm going to move that forward onto here. And that way, basically, when we rig it, we're going to set it up to where it will kind of just rotate open, rotate close, rotate open, rotate close. That'll be kind of our plan there. I'm going to go to the other eyeball, or eyelid, go to face mode, drag a box around those, hit delete, go to object mode, and then move. I'm going to slide that one over. I want to try to line it up. And again, this one will rotate down and then up so that it'll look like he closes his eye. So a real basic layout, but I think we'll be able to make it look pretty decent when you start animating it. So for now, I'm going to rotate that up if I can see my eyeball inside. I'm going to rotate the bottom eyelid down so I can see the eyelid. Let's go look in perspective and kind of see what it looks like. Yeah, once we put texture on there, we'll be able to see it a little better, but I think that'll work for what we're doing. If you want, you may even, and I may look at this for later, I'll play around with it, see if it looks good, but we may even extrude some of these edges down some on the front here so that we can create kind of a lip there. So you have kind of a, what looks like it connects or covers over the eye. But we'll look at that at a later time. All right, so we got one eyeball in there. Now, let's go ahead and just knock out this little top hat real quick. Let's do that with a cylinder. So I'm going to create a cylinder. I'm going to go ahead and bring that cylinder up. Scale it down. Keep scaling. Get it to the right size. Then I'm going to go ahead and go underneath it. Go to face mode. Select all those faces. I'm going to do Control E. I'm going to grab the scale block and then scale from the center. And I'm scaling it out on the front view to kind of get to the width of this little lip of the hat. Since it's supposed to be a symmetrical top hat, we're going to go from the yellow block. Then I'm going to hit Control E again. And I'm going to pull that down. All right. So now with that one, let's go ahead and do edge mode. Shift click this edge. It's got, if we look, it has kind of a little faint curve around it. So we're going to smooth it out a little bit. So I'm going to go up to edit mesh, bevel. I'm going to put these down, I think lower. I'm going to try like 0.25. We'll do 4 segments and hit bevel. Yeah, I think that'll work. Then we will use this edge, shift click it, and this one, shift click it. We're going to do edit mesh, bevel 0.25 and 4. And then this edge, what I'm going to do right here, I'm going to select it and let's see what it looks like if we do a hardened edge. Just want to click away and see. Yeah, that way it kind of looks like a stiff little cut there. Now, if you wanted, say, to have your character be able to take his top hat off and show the underside of it at times, you could always select these faces, extrude them inward a little bit. And for instance, we'll just go ahead and do it. Let's do that just in case the idea comes later. So I'll select these faces. And so if I wanted to look like there's a hole in the top hat, like it would sit on the head, I could do Control E, grab the scale block, bring it in some, and then do Control E again and bring it up some. Just enough so it looks like there's a hole in there. If I want it to be a hard edge right around the rim, I can go to edge mode again. Select this rim and then shift click the inside rim. And we can do mesh display harden edge. That way it'll look like it's got a hard edge when it's flipped over. But now if he takes his hat off, you've got a hard edge there. Now I don't like how jagged this is. I want to try one thing real quick. Don't know if it's going to work, but I'm going to try it real quick. And grab all of these and so I selected all of them. To make it smoother, I selected all those vertices and then did hold shift while holding the right mouse button, then do average vertices. That helped to smooth them all out, but I don't like what it did here. So what I'm going to do here is go to edge mode, shift click that one, and I am going to grab my scale tool and scale this way, and then bring it down so that it puts back that nice little flat spot on top. It also shrunk my hat a little bit, so I'm going to go to object mode, and I'm going to scale it up some, and then move it into place. That's kind of what we got there. I can make my hat a little taller by going to vertex mode, grabbing these top vertices, pull them up some. All right, and now we've got kind of Freddy's hat. All right, so we got an eyeball and a hat. The final thing I think we'll do in this video, or the final two things, is we'll make an eyebrow and maybe an ear real quick. So for the ear, I'm thinking just based off of how it looks, we'll just use a cylinder. So I'm going to create a cylinder. I'll bring that up, put it over near where it needs to be, grab my rotate, start rotating it. Find that I need to rotate on the x-axis, so I'll just type in 90 there. And then I can grab my scale tool, scale it to the size of our sample ear. Then we are going to, again, scale it up some more. Then I'm going to scale it down depth-wise. I'm going to put it into kind of the spot. It's about what I need for the thickness. I think I'll just start it right here. We may rotate it a little bit in a minute or when we're ready with the head, but for right now it'll work. Again, I'm using the front view for a majority of my stuff, kind of just using the side view for how far back to push stuff. All right, then I'm going to go to face mode. I'm going to grab these front faces. And I'm going to hit Control E. With that, I'm going to go ahead and let's see. Yeah, we'll do it this way. I'm going to press the scale button and I'm going to scale it down to here to where it meets that center point. Then I'm going to pull it forward just a hair to get kind of that little illusion that it pokes out some. Then I will do Control E again, and I'm going to pull that back in to create some depth inside the ear. All right. On the back side, what I think I will do, so I'm going to rotate around, go to face mode on the back side. Grab these faces all along the back side of the ear. And do Control E again, pull it backwards. Then grab my scale tool and just scale. Oops, that did not work. Grab from the center and scale it down some. That way it creates kind of a little bend on the back as well. All right, nothing fancy, but it'll do the trick. It does have kind of a curved edge here, so I'm going to go to edge mode and I'm going to select that one. I think I'm going to select this back one as well. I'm going to go to mesh tool or edit mesh, sorry, bevel. We'll see if 0.25 works again. And then I think we'll even do it on this inside edge. And go to mesh tools, edit mesh bevel. And then I'm going to go for this inside one here. Oops, not that. I'm going to set that to a, let me move it out of the way real quick and just see what the inside of that ear looks like. Oops. I mean, yeah, it's pretty stiff, so I'm going to go to edge mode with that edge selected, and we'll go to mesh harden edge. All right, so let's go to object mode, see what that looks like. It's just like previously, we got kind of a jagged edge, and I might, let's see if we can over here change it. Oops. So over here in my channel box, I've got it selected. I'm going to try adjusting it here where it says subdivisions axis. I'm going to try to up that some. Oh, okay. No, we should have done that long before. Nope. Yeah, we're not going to be able to do it out of here. So let's do it just like we did previously where we could have added more before we started doing all this and it would have made it a smoother cylinder. But I'll just grab these. Let me see what shift average vertices does. Shift. So select them, do hold shift, and then choose average vertices. Let's see how that looks. Looks better. I mean, I still am noticing that jaggedness. So if we wanted, we could start over with a new cylinder, add some more divisions to it so that it gives us a more smoother edge to start with, but this will work for what we're doing. And let's just press 3. What does it look like? Okay, if we smooth it later, I think we can make it work as well. So I'm going to select that and press 1 again. But I think we can work with what we've got. Some other things you may want to do, since we averaged the vertices, I may select this again, this edge, and then I'm going to scale it up to make that shape inside there look a little more detailed or defined. But that way we've got kind of his ear. Let's see, the back looks all right. So other than that, yeah, I would have probably done a lot more divisions to help make it a lot smoother edge, but it'll work for what we're doing. And then once we smooth it, it should be okay. All right, so the final piece for this video that we'll do, I think we'll make the little eyebrows. And I'm going to make them, rather than make them a texture on there and just leave them, I kind of think it'd be cool if you could move them to help show any expression. So for these, I think I'm going to do a sphere. I'm going to pull that up here. And I think I'm going to rotate the sphere sideways so the tip of it is facing this way. So I'll rotate on Z 90 degrees. And then I'm going to go ahead and scale it down. And then I'm going to bring it over here, put it into place. I'm going to bring it forward in the side view. Nope, I shouldn't have moved it. All right. And so now what I think I'll just do is I may even just scale it widthwise in the front view to be as long as the whole eyebrow. And then I'll just start moving vertices. So what I think I'll do is these over here, go to vertex mode, grab them, bring them down, rotate them a little bit, and grab these next ones, rotate a little bit, bring them down, kind of put them into place. We'll see if we can get it looking good enough, and then maybe the average vertices will help us out. Once I get them kind of into their position, I will start rotating them some and scaling them a little more. I'll grab these. And I think I'm just going to rotate them slightly for right now. But yeah, so we just keep scaling, rotating, moving them into place so that they kind of follow the contour of our example. And I'm doing it for scaling from the middle so that they stay pretty proportionate all the way down. Let's use this lasso. And just keep kind of scaling them, moving them into position until you get the shape that you want. I'm going to have to use the lasso again right here because of this weird angle. Scale this down some more. Rotate it some more. And kind of move it into place. So now we're starting to get the shape. I'll do the same thing here and work my way this way. Since this is more of a flat design over here, it's a little easier. That one needs to be a little bigger. And this one needs to be a little smaller. Pull it up. And then we'll just pull all these down, I think, and we can actually probably just rotate that whole chunk at one time. All right, so he's got an okay eyebrow now. So what I'm going to do, go to object mode, go back to vertex. Sorry, I forgot one thing. I'm going to try to see what it does. I have no idea what this is going to do. And hold shift, right click and hold average vertices. All right, I kind of like that. So I'm going to go to object mode now. And looking at my side view, I'm going to grab my rotate and kind of rotate that eyebrow to match the angle of the, oops, should not have moved it up, but rotate it to match the angle that it shows in our side reference. Do the same thing for the ear. Don't move it, but rotate it to match the reference. All right, so we've gotten 4 parts for our character's face done in this video. Let's do some cleanup real quick. In my outliner, I'm going to double click on the ear one, call it, let's actually call it left ear. Next one, the cylinder, call it top hat. And then finally, left eyebrow. All right, so now we've got the start of our character's head. Probably in the next video, we'll either do the bottom jaw and teeth, or we'll do the top of the head. But for right now, let's go ahead and do a file, save scene, and I'll see you in the next video.